2014 New York ABAA Book Fair. Quick tour, Diane Jacobs. Space for Sean Richards. There'll be a quick addendum. A new Jack the Ripper book and Hamlet in skull. Miniatures across the top. More Diane Jacobs, her woven work. Journal de Dames, Poussoir illustration, French. Called Away number 6. Little Michael Kutch in the back. Jamila Sabota's Martian Chronicles next to Dickens. And fabulous little scrapbook from Nitro, literally a boomtown, World War I, sprung out of nowhere to make ammunition. Absolutely outstanding collection of 330 whip labels, spectacular condition, and just, well, makes me happy. A remarkable collection of a touring vaudeville performer named Giselle. Basically everyone she performed with for, between 1907 and 1915, tipped in photographs, inscribed, produced art, etc. Throughout this work. Never seen anything like it. It's just stunning. Mushrooms in their natural habitat, complete with the Viewmaster and all the slides and bits. Artist book, Dance of Death, complete in its own mausoleum. The Ethelwald Trade Edition. Carolyn Trant, David Sandlin, Slumburbia, the Whitney, My Pretty Pony, and Swimming, special artist editions. Sam Feinstein's Lolita, art binding. Russell Moret's newest Euclid work, Interstices and Intersection, which is an exploration of 13 propositions of Euclid, and simply spectacular. First book by Nancy Leader, I believe it's Nine Ladies. Nine Ladies. Beautiful work, beautiful first work. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Baskin, and then more Russell, Specimens of Diverse Character. James Sienna's Sequence 1. Diane Jacobs' newest work, Nourish. 1001 Nights, French edition, 1920s, chromolithographs. This is the deluxe edition with the second suite of black and white prints. Another Whitney, Heat, and First Picture Book are both part of the Whitney series. Dart Hunter and Baskin. Reparations, which is Diane Jacobs' remarkable exploration piece. Passions in the Desert, illustrations by Juve Balzac. And Jessica Springs' Unnatural Light, Rebecca Goodall's Goldenrods of Maine. Titanic book by Jamie Murphy et al. From Dublin, printed with, in some cases, with ink made from coal brought up from the wreck. Jessica Springs' newest piece, Printer's Blocks, letterpress printed building blocks. Sampling of fine press and artist books that run the gamut from Scott Viola Sanchez Press through a little bit of Baskin, through Amy's work, particularly Labor Movement, which I think is brilliant. And then we have Chris Barron's The Magician in all its wonderful, bizarre glory. Arguably the most important artist book thus far in this century. 11 pieces, runs the gamut from offset to letterpress to digital media. Really just a remarkable tour de force in one magical package. Unusual piece from Jamila Sabota, Czech Republic. It's Crime and Punishment. The book itself is in a carved French style binding that sits in a recessed element, sort of not unlike a Russian icon in the framed piece. across the top, we have Kiki Smith's Apple Hearts across at the very top. Mark Taylor's new The End Is Always Near, one of 3 and the only one that isn't institutionalized at this point. Dana Smith, Mike Taylor's newest work, which has just gotten some amazing press, etc. I believe this may be the last available copy of that as well. Lorca, this is Carolyn Trent again, doing Sonnets of Dark Love. Leslie Dills, I Had a Blueprint of History, which I just think is just a stunningly beautiful bit of printing. And Tom Huck's genius Hillbilly Kama Sutra. Lino Cuts, just extraordinary work. Sex, Death, and the Devil, topped off by Fred Ryan. A decade of Fred, 2004 to 2014. 5 books plus Fred on Fred. Can't tell you how much I love the top shelf there. The general gamut of Sex, Death, and the Devil. All kinds of goodness. The notable gem is My Life as a Honolulu Prostitute, by Jean O'Hara, who was really a tour de force and one of the first sort of major sex worker advocates. She actually organized a strike of sex workers outside the naval base there, which led the U.S. Navy to protect the prostitutes in Hawaii as they were providing a service of national importance near the base. There are 2 institutionalized copies of that book, both of them in Hawaii. This is the only copy I know of that exists in continental U.S. And certainly that's available. At the top here we have Tupon's Press newest book, Brownsville Boys, Jewish Mafia. Shevington Press, Wakefield's Almost Jerusalem, and David Esselmont's absolutely brilliant chili recipe told entirely through woodcuts. Arguably my favorite book that I've seen in years and years, a newly published, previously unpublished Margaret Weiss Brown book, illustrated by Michael Kutch, and produced by Tupon's Press. I'm beyond in love with it. David Moyer, another smattering of various fine press and art bindings. Some Victoria Bean, Sean Richards, Claire Louise, some work from Essentious Press, David Foster Wallace in a unique binding, more bric-a-brac, one of the last Occuprint portfolios available. Tip of the iceberg, both of about a 700 volume collection of pop-up books and a 700 volume collection of association books, all of which are inscribed by the authors to Nicholas Basbanes. More fine press and esoterica of different sorts. Gypsy, Baskin, Waterlines, Kutch, Wolfgang Budke, one of the last copies available of Budke's Beyond the Wall of Sleep. Seance for Minion, Falling to Earth, both of those are Kutch. The Great Mystery, which is Peter Bagorish. Some sort of interesting historical bits that run the gamut from late 1600s political tracts through travel and science and hunting, etc. An association copy of Wasteland, owned by Driscoll, who is a scholar on pirates and piracy. Your House is Mine, which is a brilliant work of Bullet Space here in New York. And an absolutely remarkable collection, which is the 4-volume works of civilian and military costumes through 1820 French. But what really sets it apart, it's a relatively scarce set of books, but what sets it head and shoulders is the Wee Vellum book at the bottom. Is 286 of Hippolyte Lecomte, the illustrator, his original sketches for this collection of work, complete with all of his notations as to how they should be colored, etc. And as you go through, I don't know if you can see, but if you look at his illustration and the illustration as it was executed, it's disturbingly remarkable how well it was done. So I think that's it. If you can't make it, I hope it helps get a sense of what's here, and give a shout if it can be helpful. Thanks.